Alright, hello, and we're back with Europa Universalis as England. And where we left off, we just finished up the war with um, Burgundy, and apparently we have a lot of rebels. Hold on, let me check this out here. Go to the stability and expansion, and we actually have quite a bit. Oh no, it's not that bad. We have some more exhaustion, but all this stuff should calm down over the course of the next couple of years, I guess. And once we core up these provinces, it'll basically go away completely. Because you get something called overextension when you own provinces that are not your core. Oh, I just realized we have this stack over here. Good thing I noticed that. It's black flagged because it was in enemy territory and then we pieced out, so we don't actually have access. So it black flags the unit, meaning that they can't engage in combat until they return to our territory. I can support 2 more units, so I'm gonna get 2 more infantry. Actually, wait. 6-3 and 5-3. 1 cavalry. There we go. Estates domain control a territory. It is the clergy. Okay, so let's give the clergy something here. If I look, because basically they want control of territory because we own a lot of shit and they don't, so they're kind of butthurt about that. So let's give them something that's not too good. I'm not going to give them anything in England. Let's give them something down here. 17, 15. Oh, see, these provinces are really good. I don't. Sure, let's give them Meath. So we click on the estates thing here and then just give it to the clergy. There we go. That'll be fine. And that way they'll be nice and happy. And since we have no need to save up our Diplo points anymore, we'll just spend it on the next technology, which will give us marketplaces. You can build marketplaces to increase your trade power, and obviously I'm going to want to build it in London first of all. And if I look at the trade map mode here, it'll give you these little icons. It's kind of hard to see with the build thing over it, so let me just close this. These little icons that show that it's like an important center of trade, or that there's a certain estuary, like the entrance to a river. And in this case, it's the Seine estuary. So it gives us plus 10 local trade power, which is really good. Now London has the Thames estuary and the coastal center of trade, which gives it even more trade power, which is why it's so valuable. But anyway, back to the marketplaces. Let's build another one right here. And that's it. So let's merge this army. So my Casus Belli against France expires in like 5 years, and it doesn't look like in that time period I will be able to actually get my union over them, because none of my allies want me to have a union over France. None of them. Now, if Castile wasn't in debt, they would actually join a war against France. But not if it's a restoration of union. Now, once we get 140, we'll be able to start coring Artois. We're still not making that much money here. I'm going to turn down my maintenance quite a bit. And that way, we can afford a administrative advisor. Now, the only guy we can get is level 1, because the others are just too expensive. So we'll just get this guy. Yearly inflation reduction isn't really that great, because we don't really have much inflation. It's down here. But, I mean, it's something. Really, we're just paying for the extra admin point. That's really the purpose. Oh, see, most of our rebel factions have disappeared. Now we only have the Burgundian and Picardian separatists. And we can pretty much just get rid of those by increasing autonomy, but I don't feel like I really need to. Autonomy basically just means that you get less tax and less trade power, and I believe it's less manpower. Let me see. Less tax, manpower, production efficiency, and trade power. Yep. So basically you just get less of everything, but if you give them more autonomy, they're less likely to revolt. Alright, here we go. We can start making a core. Execute him for treason. Sure, why not? Oh, so both our generals are now dead. Wonderful. Alright, all of our diplomats are free right now. Let's see, we can definitely be starting to claim more French territory, so let's start doing that. Vermandois. So, as it turns out, we won't be getting a union over France. Maybe at some point in time we'll be able to vassalize them once we like beat them down so they're small enough, but it doesn't look like the union is going to happen because I made the mistake of taking the mission too early. The question of rights. No, yeah. I don't need the claim on it. Sure, they can. Basically, now it just means I don't have a claim on my vassal anymore. Alright, let's get our relations back up with Castile and Austria. And, oh, we don't have an extra diplomat. We're making enough money that I think I might be able to get another advisor. Let's get this discipline guy, because discipline basically affects how much damage you do in your army does in combat. Right, so what's our naval force level? I never really looked at that. It is 38. So what I can do, and this is a feature new to the recent expansion Cossacks. All you have to do to add something to a fleet is you just click the build ship button here. So I'm gonna build, well, at least 4 because that's how many were in the fleet before, but I think I'm gonna get it up to 15. And that will be our trade fleet. Can we support 10 more? We can support exactly 10 more, so no problem. Our military fleet with 6 heavies and a bunch of transports is fine. So our truce is up with Brittany in 65, so that's another 6 years from now. But I think I am going to vassalize them at that point. Alright, we finished improving relations with Castile. Poland is fucking shit up over here in the east. Oh, they didn't get their union over Lithuania. That's very interesting. Right now they're just allies. So they never formed the union. Basically, what would happen is pretty much at the start of the game, most of the time, Poland forms a personal union over Lithuania, and after a certain amount of time, they create the. Oh, hold on, we lose the stability here. This sucks. Over time, they eventually create the Commonwealth, or historically, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and really, it becomes one of the most formidable nations in the game. We need a little bit more admin power before we can boost our stability back up. Oh. We no longer accept Norman as a culture. What I might want to do is flip them over to Francienne, because that way, once we take over more Francienne territory, it will become an accepted culture. Basically, here, where is it here? Here. Here it shows our accepted cultures. Basically, if our if our core percentage of a certain culture group exceeds 20%, it will become an accepted culture. And if it falls below 10%, it will no longer be an accepted culture. So, for example, Gascon is at 11% right now, so it's in danger of no longer being an accepted culture. And Welsh is not an accepted culture. So actually, what we might want to do is, with these sort of extra Diplo points that are floating around, I'm going to go ahead and flip these provinces to English. And that way, over time, they will eventually become English culture instead of Welsh. And of course, we will eventually do the same with Ireland. But Scotland, if I go to the culture map mode, Scotland is in the British culture group. So as soon as I become an empire, we will enter what's called a cultural union, which means that all cultures in the same culture group as my primary culture will be accepted. Anyway, let's continue here. Our first core is done. How's Denmark doing? They hate me. Sweden does not hate me. I'm gonna actually improve relations with Sweden, because why not? They might be a decent ally in the future. We can finally upgrade our military tech, which I'm going to do right away. That is super important. Gives us more tactics, which affects our damage. So basically, it makes us, I believe, if I recall correctly, it makes us take less damage and do more damage, which is super important. And it also gives us a little bit more morale, so our troops can last longer in battle. Now let's see here if we can score an alliance with an enemy of France. That would be ideal. So it seems, what is Savoy's opinion of France? That's really important, because I might, let's see. We're actually at our diplomatic relations cap, so maybe it's not the best idea. But in the future, let me see here. Show opinions. Let's see. France. Oh, they're in love with France. Are they allied? Oh, they are. they are allied. Okay. Now, what would be really nice is if Castile got a personal union over Aragon through the Iberian wedding. Alright, I'm back. And just unpause. We're improving relations with Sweden. Oh, no debate in Parliament. Excellent. So we get to start another debate. Appropriate land for the state. I really like, because it gives us a permanent base tax increase in one of our provinces, and a lower build cost, which is always good. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. This guy wants money, which isn't really a problem. This guy also wants money, which is also not a problem. I can get some inflation. Let's take the inflation, because we have an inflation reduction advisor, so that's great. Wonderful. Here's France's army. Is that their entire army right there? Not quite. They have another unit somewhere. Although they do have a much larger manpower cap than I do. My manpower cap is 25,000. And right now they have at least 31,000. Although we have the same force limit. And of course Austria has a big army as well, but Doesn't look like they really want to go to war with France. Oh, too few seats in Parliament. So now that we cored that the province of Artois, the Parliament, basically people are asking for more representation in government. So we have to give another seat. I don't know if there's a map mode for that. Political? I don't think there is a map mode. I mean, it would make sense because England and other parliamentary republics are the only nations that have seats. So here we go. We have Kent, London, Oxfordshire, and Lancashire. So ideally, having a seat gives a province a certain amount of bonuses. And I don't know where it says what those bonuses are. But we do have a copper producing province in Cornwall here. And if we go... Oh, but it has autonomy. See, that's the problem. Why does it have autonomy? Oh, it's owned by the clergy. Alright, well, I'm going to have to take it away from the clergy at some point because we want it to have maximum production efficiency because copper is a very valuable resource. So for now, it seems that this province is our best bet to add another seat. So it gives it more production efficiency, more tax, more manpower, and faster autonomy change, which is excellent. So, okay, here goes the seat to Gloucestershire. I'm probably pronouncing that pretty horribly. It's probably like Gloucestershire or something. I don't know. I'm not exactly familiar with the English names. So here it says English France because we own territory in a region that is not connected with our capital. So if I go and look, where is it? Regions. No, areas. Firstly, if you only own provinces in a single area, it'll be named after that area. But from then on, it's named after, like, let's say you own a bunch here and a bunch in a different region. It'll be named after the region, which is France, which is why it says English France. Here I believe it says English Pyrenees, which isn't really quite accurate because it's also Guyenne. But, you know, whatever. One in each, whatever. Who else should we be improving relations with or something like that? Let's see. Could be getting more claims on France, so I'll go ahead and do that. Let's get one on Perigord. And also, I'm going to start getting some claims on Scotland. Because if we go to war with France, Scotland will be called in. So let's grab one on Lothian. And there we go. Pretty much we're just kind of waiting. Let's see here. So, let's say I declare war on France. Oh, I don't have any diplomats. So once I get some diplomats, I will go check that out. I want to see under what circumstances Austria will join. They're probably just waiting for the 10 favors, which we should get relatively soon. Oh, great. Castile is actually in a war right now. They're at war with Granada, which isn't really necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they're going to expand. They'll get bigger, so they'll get more powerful. Because they're just going to annex Granada. Let's get our relations up with... Oh, again, I keep doing stuff when I don't have enough diplomats. Burgundian separatists. Okay, we'll just take the prestige hit. We have negative prestige, but it's not the end of the world. Now, are they disloyal? I don't know. Okay, so we have our claims. Let's get some more on Scotland. So fabricate on Ayrshire. And fabricate on Poitou. There. We don't really have any good Diplo advisors, unfortunately. I believe this is the year that our Casus Belli expires. No, we've already lost it. That's unfortunate. It's really too bad. I was hoping to be able to get a union. Because if we get a union over France, nothing could stop us. But we'll have to settle. Once we get these claims, I'll probably look to try to go to war. And if we can't, I mean, it kind of sucks, but we'll have to deal with it. Really, it just matters if my allies will join. Oh, Castile annexed Granada, so they're out of that war. And I have an extra diplomat. So let's see if they will join. If I go... Oh, my diplomat's not home yet. There we go. So Austria will not join. Oh, because they don't owe me 10 favors. So we'll have to wait for that. What are we at right now? 9 favors. Okay, so in 2 years we should have all the favors we need. How many favors do I have with Castile? 16. Damn it. Because you can ask them to prepare for war. Oh, it only lasts a year. But basically, you ask them to prepare for war, and they won't go to war with anyone else, and they will be more likely to join your war, which is great. Portugal, I have 18 favors with. How many? I get 1 favor every year. You can also use favors to increase your trust, which will improve diplomatic actions that you take towards them. So we own 62% of the London or the English Channel trade node. Holland and Flanders pretty much own the rest of that because of the coastal center of trade and the Rhine estuary. Rhine estuary is really important because it's also a coastal center of trade in the Holland province here. Alright, let's see if there's any like really good spots for us to put another... There's really not anywhere that would be good to put a marketplace, so I'm not going to do that. Once we advance an admin tech, which probably won't happen until our ruler dies, he is now 41. Really unfortunate that he got an heir, because actually I feel like the War of the Roses would have been beneficial for us in this case, because we got an heir with a weak claim, which is really shitty. He'll take the throne with like 15 legitimacy, and that causes a bunch of problems, like a higher unrest and stuff like that, and it takes a long time to increase. These Burgundian separatists are getting pretty close to revolting. I might just increase the autonomy in Artois. Yeah, I don't see why not. Let's just do it. It puts the unrest down to 0, so I don't see what the problem is. We're almost done converting the culture in Gwynedd. There we go, that finished. So if we look now, Gwynedd is now English. And these two will take some more time because they have more base development. This one only had 5 development, but Glamorganshire has 8 development, and Cornwall has 12, so that will take even longer to convert.